Hi, my name is Katie Class, and this week we will explore and examine the founders, or the I generation. This generation was born between 2001 and is still be determined when their end date will be. However, we're more than likely looking at 2020. Over the next few minutes, I will discuss the characteristics of this generation in relation to their consumption and use of electronic media, how they differ from millennials in their use, and lastly, I'm going to offer a few suggestions as how to target the I generation as they move into adulthood. To begin to understand this generation, we have to first look at the factors that define their buying decisions. Let's take a look at the family. This group follows suit with millennials, returning to traditional values, and they're expected to honor lifelong marital commitments. Also, they'll be more accepting of alternative lifestyles and all versions of the familial unit. Looking to diversity, this group is by far the most diverse generation to date, with a growing Hispanic segment. Make no mistake, however, this generation blurs race and gender lines, which will redefine what demographics will remain significant as this group moves into adulthood. When speaking to motivation, brands are still important, but distilled down focus on social and environmental causes will become apparent as this group tends to be a little eco-fatigued and wants more information. Also, as far as motivation, they're motivated by what's good for all, as opposed to what's good for just the individual. Let's next look to mediating. This generation embraces alternative values and lifestyles that are loyal to their parents' acceptance of society, and they will mimic their parents' willingness or willfulness in conflict resolution. This creates a unique challenge for marketers because parents influence this generation's buying decisions, and because their parents can be millennials, Gen Xers, or even boomers, marketers will have to have a very methodical promotional mix to be successful. Next, let's take a look at media. We'll dive into this much further, but this group is engaged by digital promotions and social media. They like to create visual content, often communicating and connecting through images and videos. They also want custom social media engagements from brands as opposed to mass marketing messaging. Now lastly, church and religion. This generation has been exposed to many different forms of faith, attaching little value to any one in particular. Therefore, this generation runs the risk of becoming the first faithless generation. If churches want to engage this group, they're going to need to have a social media angle that's very well articulated and developed. Let's take a closer look at how this group uses and consumes media. This generation was raised with an influx of technology whereby they became accustomed to getting their needs met quickly and accurately. They use social media to decide what to purchase by seeking out reviews as well as peer or influencer input. They will take the advice of a stranger over a mass-marketed brand message or an authority figure. They like to communicate with emojis, images, and videos, and they do so often by curating their own content. Marketers also must be cognizant of the fact that this generation, compared to others, are the biggest multitaskers and operate many screens at once to communicate and accomplish tasks. Marketers could struggle at times to separate the I generation from millennials. However, they're quite different. To take a closer look, let's compare. Gen Z consumes more digital media, using an average of 5 screens compared to the average 2 of the millennial generation. Millennials prefer to communicate via text with words and phrases, whereby Gen Z prefers emojis, memes, and videos. Millennials have known to be optimists who focus on the present. Gen Zers are more realists who are future thinking. As far as social media content, millennials like to curate content and share it across new and changing platforms, where Gen Zers like to create custom content and share it across established platforms. Lastly, when thinking of collaboration, millennials like collaboration in small groups within an identified output. Gen Zers like to collaborate globally without bounds through a collective voice. Now that I've reviewed the uniqueness of the I generation, I'll offer a few suggestions as how a marketer has the most possibility for success in targeting this generation. First, they're going to need to ramp up customization. When marketing to Generation Z, the marketer must change the conversation. This group wants the brand to know them as an individual before offering any of their loyalty. Second, let's drive up experiential marketing. Since this group seeks customization, they will appreciate experiences that are curated for them based on their likes and dislikes. This is how to build trust with the I generation in a sea of brands providing mass marketing messaging and one-size-fits-all engagements and experiences. They're going to need to optimize mobile engagement. This group was raised with a cell phone in hand. It's where they are most comfortable and efficient and effective at operating and communicating in the world. If you find them here and optimize their experience, conversion is more likely. Lastly, we're going to need to change data mining. Both racial and gender lines are blurred in this generation, and therefore this type of segmentation will no longer be useful. The modern marketer will need to mine the Generation Z consumers' likes and dislikes, or their tastes, to define segmentation. We still have yet to see a lot of the buying patterns of the I generation. However, if marketers are able to see this generation for who they really are, which is not the millennials, then they can begin to mold their marketing tactics to engage them in a memorable way to achieve conversion, and then hopefully even brand loyalty. I'm Katie Class, digital marketing student at IWU, and it's been a pleasure discussing the I generation with you today. Have a great week and be blessed.